already live here on the dance floor here in Joybalsan over in Mongolia. We are here with the first of the closed qualifiers, that being the Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, Japan, Mongolia closed qualifiers, the only ones. As a matter of fact, there will be no day two, but it will be a double elimination bracket. I am, of course, the host Yaku of the Zaku, and with me is el maestro de todo lo que examino, pero ahora está barriendo el última en la fila de tu desfile de cerco, Light underscore VIP. How we doing, Light?
What's up, Yahoo? Yes, yeah, that was a long intro, mate. That was that was a long one. But yes,
I didn't expect it to be that long. Yeah,
we are here. We are back for the third broadcast of the day. It is the DreamHack Closed Qualifiers, as you said.
Boy.
This is the very first DreamHack Closed Qualifier. All the open ones have ended. They ended a couple of hours ago. We were there, and now the closed ones begin with Taiwan, Hong Kong, and it's all gonna kick off with this very first series that you see before you. This is still a best of three, but straight after this, we have a qualifying match.
Ho, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are probably looking at this bracket and thinking, yep, 4 qualifying matches, 4 best of 5s. This may be a bit of a longer tournament. Well, we don't hold series, as I said.
Yeah.
Immediately after the first round, we already jump into a qualifying match, so you would be surprised.
Exactly. Typically, we cost like 3 series if we're lucky.
Yeah.
So at least three.
Every now and then we get to jump into the ace match of one final qualifying match.
Yeah, if we're lucky. But mate, we're about to kick things off with one of our favorite new players, or at least one of my favorite new players this season.
Without a doubt. Always had our eyes on him, but he really impressed us in the open qualifiers this time. Here on 2000 Atmospheres, LE in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The red Terran player coming out from the land of Taiwan. He is, of course, going to be representing Naive Dream World, coming down from his cabana, his beach house. He is JavieR.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the blue Zerg player hailing from the land of Hong Kong, representing his brand new team, Juggernauts. It is GogojOey.
So in one corner of the ring, we have a player who we've followed throughout the entire open qualifiers. We've had our eyes on him for the past couple of seasons of DreamHack as well, but we never really got to see him pop off until this season. On the other side of the ring, we have somebody very familiar to us, somebody who we followed throughout the entire year and beyond, really.
And beyond. You're right there. Again, GogojOey, he is the best player in all of Hong Kong. He is a favorite to make it through once again into the main event. I don't know if there's been a single season where he hasn't been there, at least this year. But facing him, as you said, is the up-and-comer. I say up-and-comer, like, obviously he's been around for a while, but here at the end of the year, he has really popped off, and that's something that you touched on, right? This is the final season of DreamHack for 2021, so a lot of players, they feel that desperation, and it, like, drives them, you know, to try and achieve greater heights, and that's why we see JavieR here in the closed qualifier.
Exactly. It's not quite DreamHack Last Chance, but for a lot of these players, it may as well be. I mean, DreamHack Last Chance is even more cutthroat of the qualifiers. They just completely do away with all of these regional divisions and whatnot. Let's go.
And to be fair, that is probably the biggest criticism about DreamHack Last Chance, is that it's just a server qualifier to get in. So typically it is dominated by, like, you know, the Koreans and the Europeans, as they typically take the NA slots. So it's not region based at all. So it is a bit of a shame because of that. It is more of like a rich get richer sort of thing. So as you said, like, for a lot of these smaller regions, like, again, this is their last chance.
Yeah, it's funny how it's like it's the last chance. You know, players who are in the middle
Yeah.
of the EPG circuit, who are
Yeah.
like barely don't have enough points to make it through. It's like they have to literally qualify for that, otherwise they don't make it to IEM. It would be kind of cool if there was like if that was a thing for the players who weren't secured based on the math. But at the same time, you know, I guess another way of looking at it is as a bit of a precursor, right? Bit of a teaser for the upcoming Katowice. But that's going to happen much later this year. Very much towards the end of this year. For now, we, of course, have a standard season of DreamHack, the winter one, and GogojOey doing GogojOey things here in the close qualifiers of Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, Mongolia, Japan.
Definitely, as GogojOey does have that Roach Horn behind his mirror line. Again, we know him in this matchup for like the majority, like maybe 7 out of 10 times, he goes Roaches in this matchup. And JavieR has to be careful. We do have a 1-1-1 opening from him, but there are no Banshees behind this. It is for a faster stim timing instead, which obviously has its place, but I don't see these Hellions doing too much as a result because like Roach is already popping out.
Yeah, I feel like best case scenario, these Hellions can probably slow down the Roaches, buy himself some time to get a bunker up, get a wall up, maybe a tank if he has the time, but he's actually just thrown down 2 more barracks. The bunker only gets thrown down now. Very nice target firing, able to take out one of the tanks. Is it going to be enough? These Roaches don't have Galarian Constitution, so they do take some time to make it across the map.
They do, but the boys are being pulled again. We need a buffer here because the Hellions alone are not going to be enough to hold the line. Slowlings are being rallied across the map. Workers are falling, but again, this is necessary. Otherwise, JavieR may just die.
Absolutely, and the bunker does complete. GogojOey doesn't have any Ravagers, so he doesn't have enough Roaches to really bile that down, despite their lacking a wall. Stim is about to finish up here for JavieR as well, so things are definitely looking up. There's a tank on the high ground, but he definitely needs to get that sieged up.
He really does. A couple of biles are landing on the bunker, but the repairs are on that. There we go. The repairs are on point. The bunker will not go down, and with this tank shelling away at the Ravagers, JavieR, he does hold, just barely dodging those biles. And even though he lost 8 SCVs, again, those were necessary losses to hold here.
They absolutely were. He still has a 3rd orbital command on the way, so that's plenty of mules. Really important to note, because GogojOey, he goes very aggressive with his Roaches in ZvT, but it's aggression to keep him safe while he expands. He's on 66 workers, basically 20 workers ahead of JavieR. Those mules are the only thing keeping him even in the mineral income. And even then...
Yeah, exactly.
Barely.
Like that he is. I mean, GogojOey, he's going to be free to expand and take a 4th base behind this if he so wishes. We do have 1-1 on the way, by the way, and this is going to be for round number 2. Once all these upgrades finish up, GogojOey can hit a very nice timing with his Roach Ravager, which is most likely going to be at this 3rd. So we have to take a look and be like, yo, what's the defensive position going to look like? We still only have 1 tank for JavieR.
Yeah, at least one that's going to be within effective range. Another tank is very far behind.
Yeah, that it is. It is now. Moving on forward, the rocks have been dealt with. This push will be noticed by the Hellions, so JavieR will have a bit of a heads up, and he has to be so on point with scouting where this army is. You know, is he going to hit the 3rd, or is he going to go straight up into the natural?
He's got options, yeah. Fortunately, hasn't quite been able to get a scout off, hasn't really been able to see where the army is positioned, but he's just keeping his options open, clearing up the rocks here in case he decides to reinforce from that position.
Yeah, that it is. Ooh, as we do see a scan, we do see JavieR confirming that the Roaches are going over towards the northern side of the map instead, just clearing a bunch of creep, clearing a bunch of these pathways, and yo, I do love the patience of GogojOey. He hasn't pulled the trigger yet, and instead has started up 2-2. Changeling gives GogojOey a bit of an idea of where the army is at, and GogojOey has taken the high ground. No buffer for this bunker. It will fall a lot
of the bio is starting to get surrounded and concaved by the Roach Ravager. GogojOey has a high ground. GogojOey has a high ground.
Yeah, that he does. The bios are connecting with the tanks, and it looks like the tanks will go down. He's trading quite well, though, and oh my god, the boys are being pulled. Look how many SCVs have gone down. Oh my god.
He was trading very well until he started losing the SCVs. At that point, he lost his economy and his buffer. GogojOey will have to regroup with what he has left, but he's making 13 roaches at the moment right now. Like, he's just getting his Ravagers out from the weakened roaches.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier, talking about how this aggression from GogojOey also keeps him safe. And what you mean by that is that, again, his mineral lines have been left untouched. Like, he hasn't been harassed at all. JavieR has not gone more than halfway across the map. And, oh my god, now GogojOey, he's just booming in the economy, and there's nothing to stop him from just powering through into the third.
That there isn't. The final tank goes down. Okay, well, the second final tank goes down. G is called, and GogojOey takes game number 1 in this best of 3 series. I feel like... Well, I was just gonna make a joke of like, yeah, I hope Chase was taking notes, but I feel like, you know, should make this an educational sort of cast for Chase's sake.
Yeah, like that was a very strong showing by GogojOey, and he was just doing everything right, you know? Like, there were even a couple moments where you were like, yo, is he ever extending a little bit with his Ravagers, but he would still get value, and he wouldn't really lose too many of them either. Like, it was solid.
Yeah. Seal is pointing out something important. We don't have a copy passive for GogojOey.
We do not. Do we need one? Do we?
I don't know. Seal is commissioning me apparently.
Well, do we have one for me and Micah?
We do actually.
We do.
We do, yeah, because Seal commissioned me to make one for him. He commissioned me to make one for Bwisk as well.
I see. For Bwisk? I don't think we've ever casted Bwisk. I don't.
You haven't. I remember casting Bwisk with Quirky way back in the day.
True. That
and we both went full, and Quirky and I both went full Singapore after he qualified.
Oh boy. All right. Well, here we go. We are diving into game number 2.
That we are continuing this ZvT best of 3 series.
Exactly. Are we going to see more of the same, or are we going to see our Terran player adapt a little bit to what is coming at him, you know? Is he... Oh, don't click.
I did click, and it gave me a white screen, but then it was safe. I feel like the StarCraft gods were like, you have one chance. We'll save you now. Never again. But regardless, speaking of one chance, here we are on Lightshade LE, and at least for this upper bracket, this is a player with one more chance to stay alive, to not get knocked down to the lower bracket. In the bottom right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, the Red Terran player from Taiwan. Very exciting Terran player to watch in these past couple of weeks. He is going to be representing Naive Dream World. He actually even beat Nazin in those open qualifiers, didn't he? That, I think, was when we really, or for me anyway, was when I really had my eyes open on him. The Gentleman Terran, he is JavieR.
Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Blue Zerg player from the land of Hong Kong. Oh my god, going for a very aggressive opener, representing his brand new team, Team Juggernauts. It is GogojOey.
Oh boy, GogojOey likes his roaches, doesn't he? In ZvT at least.
Oh yeah, we know that, maiden. This madman goes for a gas pool hatch opening, prioritizing his gas, prioritizing that pool, and we'll see if this is going to be for a Roach Warren.
I would be very surprised, but I wouldn't be opposed to a Baneling Nest.
Mate, so there it is.
The Roach Warren.
Boom, Roach Warren does get thrown down. So this SCV scout is important. JavieR, he checks and he confirms that it is a pool first opening, but he doesn't know what kind of pool first.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Which is definitely very unfortunate. Thankfully, though, GogojOey is going for a pretty aggressive Roach timing. I say thankfully. What I mean by that is JavieR is going to be... There's going to be a prompt in JavieR's brain that will say, I need to be defensive, I need to get a bunker. Unfortunately, he gets a bunker on the low ground, not the high ground, which can still be held if you like immediately get your wall, if you Maynard half of your mineral line into the natural base so that you have some workers available if you need to repair, but I mean, it's just a lot of unnecessary risk that you're taking.
Yeah, this is disastrous for JavieR. Typically, to hold against these roaches, you throw down your bunker on the high ground, you lift up your CC, and you hold at the ramp. It is so much easier to pull that off. Meanwhile, we have our roaches on the way. I believe the Reaper did scout the roaches coming across the map, so he's aware. Again, there we go. He's pulling the boys. He's committed to trying to hold on the low ground.
I believe.
All right, mate. People in the chat need to believe as well. He needs all the belief, mate.
But we do have some Ravagers out right now. Overlord's trying to get in position so they can bile down a tank if they need to. There is a bunker, but there's a wall for that bunker, so...
There isn't. Meanwhile, we have another Maynard of more workers, so we even have more SCVs down on the low ground to help support this. We do have a very nice repair, and GogojOey, yo, he only has these 3 Ravagers. Can he really do much here? Yo, he wants the deepers.
He does, surprisingly.
I mean, there are a lot of deepers here, mate.
That are they really what you want to prioritize, though, as GogojOey? I guess so.
Oh, can you get it? Can you get it? Can you get it? Can you get it? Up. Up.
Back and forth between the Ravagers and the tank. And he will get that one depot, which actually does supply cap JavieR.
He does.
For quite some time, actually. He's only now getting a replacement depot.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate as to where those bars were landing because they could have potentially gotten both depots. Obviously, there is an SCV repairing here, so it would have been difficult. But yeah, with this, like, yo, JavieR, he's defended this, you know? We have the bunker on the low ground. There are only 3 Ravagers. Like, he had plenty of SCVs. He prepared, as you said, by Maynarding down into the natural. He's good.
Yeah, see what happens when you believe.
Yeah, you give them your energy, mate. It works.
In the dream world, yeah. When you have a dream, no matter how naive it may seem.
I thought that was another line, but yeah, you're right. In that naive dream world.
Yeah, and look at that. He even goes for a quick third base. Well, I say quick. Relatively quick, because he didn't miss a beat with his defense. He didn't have to delay the third base to get anything. He already had that bunker, as we were talking about, and had the tank in position as well. So yeah, JavieR has not slipped up on the macro, but neither has GogojOey. Again, I think another big part about this is that while it was a bit more of an aggressive timing from GogojOey, the main objective of these roaches is to contain the Terran player more than anything.
Exactly. Like, again, GogojOey wasn't looking to kill his opponent. Instead, you know, just keep JavieR at home, keep him scared, and just drone up heavily behind that. And now GogojOey, he's got a decent worker count, he's got his third base up and running. We should be seeing a fourth base anytime now. What I'm waiting for is additional tech. Like, you know, where is the upgrades here for the roaches? Evo chambers, right? Potentially a spire. Like, at the moment, we don't really see much from GogojOey.
He really likes his roaches. What can you say, you know?
I hope he loves them a little bit more, because again, he only has 1 roach on the map. Oh god. And there we
he's
go.
Actually switching more into Lings at the moment.
Yeah, we do see the double Evo chambers and the Cloud Reconstitution, and there's the tech that I was waiting for. Spire gets thrown down.
Yeah, love to see it. Now, the question is, he's going for double Evo chambers, light, and he has gotten a bunch of Zerglings as well. Do you think he's going to switch into Mutiling Bane from here?
God, no. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Alright, just read us a just for harass.
Yeah, honestly, it would make sense, because right now, because we had like a delay when it came to Roach production, GogojOey wanted to save a lot of his gas for the upgrades and for the tech and all that stuff. And it would make sense for him to rely on a more link-based composition if he wanted to go mass muter. But because he's committed to Roach upgrades, it looks like he only wants enough muters to harass, right? Like, I don't know, 7 muters, right?
Yeah, about the magic number. It's not quite a problem of mutalisks yet, but it's a slight bother.
Yeah, I mean, it's enough to one-shot SCVs, you know, and that's really all you need, right? So, there we go. That tech is on the way. Meanwhile, JavieR finally has control of his third base, is moving out with his drop. The creep thread honestly has much to be desired for GogojOey, so it's not out of control. It can be definitely hindered and dealt with by JavieR.
That they can. Meanwhile, JavieR for, I think, the first time in this series, and I'm aware that it's only game number 2, but for the first time in this series has really been able to stretch his legs, or at least the legs of these Marines, and be active on the map.
Yeah, this is great. You know, he's playing some StarCraft. He's gaming, mate.
Yeah. He can actually play how he wants to play, and not be completely reactive to the roaches that GogojOey's throwing at him.
Exactly. Which, I mean, there are a lot of roaches, to be fair. They're here at the fourth base. Meanwhile,
we have some marauders.
Those 7 meters that we were talking about, they're looking to dive into the main base. Oh, we do have a couple of missile targets already set up, though, for JavieR.
Yeah, pretty surprisingly, a very big drop here into the main base. But there were a couple of roaches to distract the Marines while the rest of the forces come in and chase the drop away. Don't think any SCVs have gone down. Maybe 1 or 2. Yeah, only 1.
Yeah, 1 was picked up towards the end at the natural base because that was the only place where the missile turrets weren't set up. So JavieR kind of being a little bit greedy there, cutting some corners. Meanwhile, this drop was able to do a lot, right? You know, 1 drone went down. You know, a lot of lings were shaved off. He traded relatively well against the roaches.
Yeah, against the safety roaches, they were taken out. And they are a pretty key unit for GogojOey right now, or rather I should say a relatively expensive unit for this phase of the game, gas-wise.
Yeah, exactly. As JavieR, he was trying to reinforce his army, but there were just so many roaches that he gets forced back. And I mean, Marines are okay, but you need tanks to help support. We do have 3 tanks on the high ground, but they are pretty far back. Are they really going to come into play?
Not unless GogojOey pushes deeper into this natural base. You see a couple of volleys already doing a lot of damage against the roaches, but GogojOey has also recognized that. He is trying to draw the Marines where they're out of range of the tanks.
But thankfully, because of those tanks, GogojOey couldn't bust into the natural or the third base. Like, he was very limited with his movement, so JavieR was able to hold on.
That he was, but now the tanks are unsieged. And now they're sieged. Whew.
Oh, that... They are, and there aren't that many Ravagers either, so the tanks are going to deal a lot of damage to the Marines. They stim on forward and they clean up the roaches.
GogojOey really underestimated the power of 5 tanks spread in the line. And he paid the price for it. He is actually able to remax very quickly beyond that. He has 4, let's not forget, he does have 4 untouched hatcheries with plenty of larvae. But still, a very inefficient trade, and Roach Ravager isn't quite like Ling Bane. You can't really... It's a little bit more difficult to brute force your way through, because if you lose 1 too many, you allow your opponent to have an opportunity to counterattack. But here he is attacking the middle of the map!
That he is. Meanwhile, 2 tanks immediately get sniped, but there's still so much here for JavieR. Again, pushing away this Roach army. I feel like GogojOey was really lacking when it came to Ravagers, only relying on 4 for that entire engagement.
Ravagers surprisingly do better against tanks. They take less damage from the tanks since they're not an armored unit.
Well, the problem is that, like, he only has enough biles to kill 1 tank at a time, and to be fair, the biles have been insane. Like, he was able to snipe the tanks, he was able to snipe the Liberator as well, but he just doesn't have that many biles to work with.
He really doesn't. That Liberator is actually a very underrated part of that assault.
Yeah.
How many roaches and Ravagers has been able to take out before it was taken down? And now GogojOey is sort of being pressed into a corner, but again, he is still maxed out, so he sends out a couple of run-bys here and there, just trying to damage the fourth base as much as possible, the economy of the fourth base as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so surprised that he was able to slip these roaches past the entire army of JavieR. Because of that, 9 SCVs go down. JavieR was not prepared for a roach run-by whatsoever, even forces a liftoff of the fourth base.
And this is starting to prompt JavieR to push in, but once again, GogojOey is maxed out. JavieR, not so much. Sure, it is Roach Ravager, so it's not exactly a very... The numbers are a little bit botched. It's a little bit inefficient supply-wise, but still, JavieR is lacking, to say the least. Not lacking tanks, though.
Exactly, those
Absolute
tanks...
MVPs.
100%, they've done so much here. This forward tank, 18 kills, mate. And those are 18 roaches because we know there haven't been any lings out. So, damn, that's a lot of value already. JavieR, his reinforcements finally on. Never mind, they get drawn back once again from another roach run-by.
Wow. And this is without tunneling claws.
Oh my god. Meanwhile, another tank gets picked off. Like, GogojOey, he's holding on. He keeps going.
He's getting us around.
Oh my god.
Oh no, this might be a run by.
Yeah. He's just hindering the reinforcements, catching them as well, forcing JavieR to turn around.
There's a lot of roaches though, and they're about to get sandwiched. But then again, GogojOey does want to shave off some of these roaches so he can get some banelings out. He's getting Baneling speed. He does want to get a little bit of Ling Bane.
Mate, JavieR is dancing to the music of GogojOey right now. The forward army comes all the way back. He's chasing all these roaches, and now his fourth is exposed once again to the reinforcements of GogojOey.
Mate, there's a planetary fortress here, but does GogojOey care? Not at all. There's no buffer for the planetary. The Biles land on the SCVs. A lot of them do survive and will repair the planetary fortress. No, not good enough.
Not enough whatsoever. The Roach army towards the south will be cleaned up, but they accomplished their goal. They were just distracting the attention of JavieR there, and GogojOey was able to take out a base. Sure, he's going to lose all these roaches, but mate, he's remaxing with roaches, with lings, and banelings, because Bane speed has finished up, mate.
GogojOey traded a lot more efficiently in that northern skirmish than I anticipated. I think 2-2 kicked in towards the end there. I didn't even realize that GogojOey already has a hive. He's already getting adrenal glands, a greater spire as well. Definitely thinking pretty far ahead. But he does need a little bit of time that JavieR is not looking to give him. This is still a lot of bio and not a lot of banelings on the map.
Oh, exactly. Baneling connections are okay, but they're not going to be good enough. What's important is that GogojOey can afford to lose his space. He doesn't have to commit to this fight, and he pulls the boys. Oh my god, the drones though! Some of them do get picked off, but only 5.
Yeah, only the ones at the tail end. Covering the retreat of the rest of the drones. They can continue to mine in a southern base. GogojOey can get another... Oh, actually, he can't quite yet.
Oh, exactly.
But yeah, I don't think GogojOey has gone beyond 68 workers or something.
Not at all. Not at all, mate. Not at all.
Really needed to.
Yeah, meanwhile, this engagement is going to be so close. The tanks are so low. How good are the Biles going to be? They do connect, and 2 tanks will go down. I think all 3?
Wow. Yeah, all 3 of them go down, but important to note, GogojOey kind of lost a couple of banelings unnecessarily because he didn't want to connect them to... He didn't want to connect them with the Marauders. JavieR doing a very good job of positioning his bio. So sure, that was a little bit of a stalemate, but at the same time, I feel like GogojOey has more momentum behind him, way more momentum than JavieR does.
Well, I mean, JavieR's stuck on 3 bases. Like, he's tried so hard to expand and get another base up and running. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. He's forced to lift his main. That means that, sure, he's going to get a 4th, but it's not going to be a planetary. It's going to be vulnerable, and mate, we have a massive Ling run by.
Yeah, it's going to be very vulnerable, especially since a lot of the army... JavieR has to be active with what army he has left. He's trying to deny the economy of GogojOey as much as possible. But GogojOey's going to do that as well to JavieR.
Yeah, exactly. As the Ling run by does kill 6 SCVs. Meanwhile, 6 drones fall for GogojOey. But it's one of those things where these SCVs feel like they are a little bit more valuable to JavieR.
Yeah, which is funny because... he does have mules, but you need a little bit of a stable income, a stable economy before you can sacrifice the SCVs for mules.
Oh! Oh no, he turns around at the bottom moment. Yeah, the banelings do connect there.
That is what we call a... God Damn it, I don't remember. Shelby.
Oh no, Shelby, please! Oh my god, the BIOS connect! Not just with the tanks, but even with medevacs in the sky. GogojOey's just done so much with these Ravagers. His upgrades are on point. Another Ling run by.
2 Lings! That's the power of adrenal glands, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the power of adrenal glands. That's the underpowerment of a CC. Unfortunately, not a planetary. Like, a planetary would have been fine, would have been perfectly fine. Oh god.
And I have to be honest, I am pretty surprised as to how alive JavieR is right now. He still has been able to remake a bit of an army. The supplies are relatively even with GogojOey. Ooh, that was a kill and not a cancel. GogojOey cannot afford too many inefficient trades here because I feel like he will eventually run out of money.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but another massive Ling run by. No, the entire middle. No, he's fighting with the SCVs. No, god. Okay, he does force the Lings back. No, but the Bailings are rolling in. No, puppy, please. Oh no.
He can go for the Marines or the SCVs, and these Bailings will get value. And he's going for both.
Oh my god, he wants everything.
That. He doesn't even need to surround. 13 SCVs go down, and about 2 medevacs worth of Marines as well. I got really worried for GogojOey for a sec, but now I have no worries whatsoever. I'm worried for JavieR more than anything.
Exactly. There's still those 2 Lings, by the way, just chipping away at the base. What's important, though, is that we do have a bit of a Doom drop going into the main base. Oh, a massive drop, but there are spores in position. He doesn't commit.
Mate.
Oh my god.
I know GogojOey can reposition his army. He's surrounding the bio. It's very far off a creep, but it doesn't matter in the end. JavieR's push has run out of steam. And GogojOey takes that series 2-0, going up to a qualifying round immediately. Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. GG, well played. What I will say is, of course, game number 1 was a little bit one-sided. Game 2 was much more of a slugfest. It was much more closer between these 2 players, and JavieR was able to excel in some places, but, oh god, he was really torn apart. It felt like his attention was really being put to the test there, and he was failing that test.
Unfortunately. And that was definitely a pretty dang close game when we're looking at things like the economies, the macro cycles of both players. Again, I feel like if JavieR had a little bit better crisis management, it would have been a much different story. His tanks were really pushing GogojOey's army to a corner. GogojOey was so backed up. But then he was able to sneak out a couple of roaches, you know, be a little bit threatening by the 4th base locations and pick off some reinforcements, force army to come back home, and that gave GogojOey enough breathing room to eventually come back and take that game, take that series 2-0.
Yeah, those Roach 1-buys, they were really the MVPs for GogojOey. We saw, right, like GogojOey, he was kind of losing the battle on his side of the map with his Roach Ravager. Like, every single time, like, the tanks, they just got so much value, the Marines, they were trading well, but we saw that those run-bys, they just kept the reinforcements at home. More than was needed, by the way. Like, there was a lot of kind of, like, wasted supply for JavieR, just kind of running around in between the bases, trying to keep up with the roaches, and then eventually, I was shocked when the moment where JavieR unsieged and came home with everything. Right? Instead of pressing his advantage. There was that moment where you said a small roach run by. GogojOey literally sent all of his roaches across the map.
Non-Ravager,
yeah, and he had like 8 Ravagers left to face like an army of Marines and tanks, and JavieR just didn't know. He just didn't know.
GogojOey was kind of thinking, and he thought correctly. He made a bit of a gambit there. He thought, there's no way JavieR is confident enough to push into me when I have these many roaches going to his side of the map. GogojOey kind of winning the psychological battle. GG, well played. I feel like Sinistro put it best. Joey, he indeed went.
Yeah, man. He goed. He went, mate.
He goed, yeah.
Jesus, and with that, GogojOey moves on to a qualifying match, a best of 5. But if you are a fan of GogojOey. Do not fret because a fan of JavieR. Do not fret because he's not out of the tournament, mate. We got double him.
Yeah, we do.